This is Richard Fowler. I'm John Kilpatrick with Okolona Aikido, Louisville, Kentucky, USA. Now, we haven't made a video in a while. We've been working on really getting this down and making sure it's what we think it is. So, Aikido, you know, there's a lot of mystery around Aikido. People have strange ideas about it. And Aikido people have strange ideas about it, much less other people. Here's what I think is the essence of Aikido. And that is that in regular fighting, say he's attacking me with a knife. Well, I'm going to step back and then try to parry this and then come in. Well, when I try to come in here, he's going to step back and keep cutting. Well, this is very, very difficult. This is the way normal fighting goes. This is the way fencing goes. You know, he attacks, I retreat, parry, and repost. Well, it's hard to get the guy, and you spend years learning this. So, this is normal fighting. Well, as you know, if you practice Aikido, pivoting is a big deal in Aikido. So in pivoting, our solution to this is he stabs and we pivot, and then we're right here beside him where we can do nasty things to him. And I can do that the other way, so you can, and we're standing with our feet in line here, and I come here. So this is great in theory, but the truth is it doesn't really work for most people. Maybe some people are super athletes and they can make it work. I'm a very mediocre athlete, and nobody could make it work with me. If I was trying to stab them, I could always stab them. Now, they would make excuses for why I could stab them and the techniques really worked. I never believed any of it. So there was a piece missing. And here's the piece that's missing. In Aikido, we have to do reflex control to make it work. And so now there are only certain conditions where this will work, and you have to understand this. In Aikido, your normal practice is where our weapons don't quite touch. So in this case, and the way we normally practice, he has a training knife, and I don't, although a lot of times I do. Both of us we're sparring and both of us have knives. A lot of times we don't. So our weapons don't touch. Now, if I'm at this range, I can do this, what I'm talking about. If I'm too close, if I'm in here, if he tries to stab me and I try to do that, I don't have time to do this. I think when you're close like this, the guy who attacks is most likely to win. So I don't wait for him to do anything. I just go after him. That's a whole different issue. The other thing that has to be true for this to work is that he has to attack me. You know, he has to come in here and I have to do this. What we're doing is controlling what is called a feeding reflex. And that is, it's what a bullfighter's doing. He comes after me, I give him a substitute target, and then I step out of the way. So I have to give him a substitute target, and I have to get him to pay attention to that target. Now this is a two-step process. And to me, the easiest way to understand it as sword fighting. Now, when we practice this, we're standing with the feet perpendicular to the line of attack. This is different than a normal Aikido class. The reason for this is I want to be able to go to either side without him knowing ahead of time what I'm going to do. You know, with a lot of people, if they know what you're going to do, they don't even pay attention to you. They just stab where they know you're going. So you can't learn anything. So we're going to not use standard Aikido. Later on, you know, you can learn how to do this with standard Aikido, but I want you to understand the principle. So to understand this, it's like using a sword. So I'm standing here, I raise the sword. Here we're raising it straight up. We're not raising it behind our head. We raise the sword straight up. That's movement 1. Now the sword and my head are lined up together, or my body, so that when he attacks me, he's attacking both the sword and my body. Then I step out of the way and cut with the sword. This way he has to deal with the sword. That's all he sees. My body disappears. This is what he has to, this is what you have to do to get the pivot to work. You bring up a false target, then you step out of the way. You keep him attached to the false target so he doesn't see you move. And this is a reflex control. Aikido is about this reflex control. So that if I'm doing it empty-handed, what happens is I bring my hand in front of my face. Right now I have the hand between my face and the camera. Then I pivot and project my hand toward my attacker. This forces him to pay attention to the hand. It's attacking him. And he doesn't see me move out of the way, so he doesn't follow me. I can do this to either side. If I'm going to the left, my left hand comes between my face and his eyes, and here I have it, his eyes are the camera. Then I pivot and bring this other hand down. Now notice, if we were doing a regular coup de punch, which this is kind of modeled after, we start with our hands different. A lot of things are different. But the main thing is that I'm stepping and bringing this foot back behind me. When we do this, we bring the 2 feet together. And this is because we're going to enter for a throw. And to enter for a throw, we don't want to move away from the person. We're going to go into a pendulum step. So it'll be something like this. But that's, we don't want to get into all of that right now. I just want you to see this first part. So when he attacks with the knife, we've got to have our distance right. He attacks with the knife. See, I'm just this simple movement. So again, and this, if he comes on in to stab me, I'm going to hit him in the face. And then I'll come on in, hit him with this, hit him a bunch of times and throw him around and beat up on him a lot. So this is what we think is the essence of Aikido. I mean, people have all kind of ideas. Aikido, usually they just start off, somebody comes in and, I grab his wrist and he does his thing. Well, they avoid all of this. And I think they're avoiding what Aikido is really about. Now, when they do their throws, if you follow Satomi and people like that, who I think have the right idea, then this is all reflex control. The throws are reflex control too. Everything is reflex control. But at any rate, the essential thing is to bring this hand, then pivot. The other night, Richard went to one of the local martial arts clubs and was doing this with them just to see how it worked. And he just cleaned up. Nobody could defend against it at all. It was much easier than here where we know what he's doing and we're used to fighting it. I watched some soldiers practicing some of this stuff the other day. And they were all doing this retreat, retreat, parry, repost stuff. It's not what we're practicing here. So give this a try and see what you think, but I think this is what Aikido really is.